listening to the Chartographers.
To the Chartographers. It is a music-loving podcast for music-loving people where we take every single album by a particular artist and we rank it from worstest to firstest. It's a thing that we do.
Why?
And guys, let me tell you something. The fall, when we recorded this, fall was in the air, and I was just thinking about putting on my Letterman's jacket and going down to the local dormitory and cafetorium, because, you know, it's college time. And the thing is that we've actually, in this season, we've talked about a beloved college rock band in the form of Guster, and we thought, hey, let's keep the tradition going. Let's talk about a group that for a lot of 30-somethings, as they're listening to this, have formed a lot of backbone of a lot of their musical taste, a lot of influence, a lot of critical success, and a lot of weird, stupid pop shit happen. That's right, guys, we're gonna talk about them. The one, the only, the group whose greatest contribution to popular culture was that time they condensed the word garage into a single syllable. That's right, guys, we're talking about Weezer! Go Punishment if you're nasty. Or if you're really nasty, the Rentals. So Weezer, they basically formed in Los Angeles. Brian Bell, Pat Wilson, and, of course, Rivers Cuomo, who's kind of the de facto leader, dictator of the band. He's the chief songwriter and kind of has to say in terms of everything that goes. He was a nerdy kid who grew up on D&D and good books and opera, and also loved metal. He loved a lot of metal. Think Kiss metal. Think Yngwie Malmsteen. Think about all these other great guitars that have come throughout the days. He decided to kind of turn that into its own distinct thing, and ultimately he found a lot of success. When they had the Blue album that came out in 1994, triple platinum, big success, radio staples all across the board, and for some people, they're still kind of judged on that. Are they recreating that sound? Are they deviating from that sound? They've turned into a lot of different bands over the course of this time. They've been a pop group, they've been a rock group, they've been a confessional songwriting type affair. It's all sorts of fun stuff, and we are going to rank their discography today. Who's doing the ranking? Let me tell you. First off, there's me. I'm Evan Sadi. You might know me as the interviews editor over at Pop Matters. I also write for MSN, a whole bunch of other places, but I hope that you recognize me on t-shirts as the guy who hosts this podcast, because I love this podcast oh so dearly, and if you know anything about this podcast, then you know the person sitting next to me. That's right, the Pat Wilson to my Rivers Cuomo, the one and only co-creator, Taran O'Reilly! How you doing, Taran?
I'm great. This was a really interesting journey.
Coded words.
Yeah, my favorite part was when Evan just kept putting on featuring Rivers Cuomo songs and just seeing whatever that was.
Yeah.
And oh my god, he's made some shit.
Yes.
But
Miranda Cosgrove doesn't list the all-time great, pop artist.
yeah, when you
list.
put on Miranda Cosgrove, I was like, what's happening? And then he started singing, and I just left the room.
You've got the magic in you.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Shut up, Rivers.
All right, but here's the thing. I am excited because this has been kind of a big journey for you. I'm most excited of all for an incredible guest that we have in studio today. Woo! He's an ensemble member over at Lifeline Theater Company. He's also an author and writer of audio dramas the world over, many of which we'll get to see very soon. He is here. He is in the house. He is rocking a sweater. I swear to God. That's right, guys. Bilal Dardai is in studio. Bilal!
Hello. Thanks for having me.
I did this big warm-up. You're like, yes, thank you. Very good.
I'm like, it's like when you started this off, like talking about like the backbone of several 30 songs. I'm like, I'm 40. I'm 40. They know I'm 40. They don't know I'm 40. Okay, it's okay. Just.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Bilal, I'm just curious because when we asked you about this, I'm so curious. I reached out to you, and you said you had a decent understanding of Weezer by itself, but you weren't like full bore into their discography. Right. So what made you decide to take up the mantle of this challenge?
I think in part because of my. So up until this point, up until this past couple of weeks, my kind of understanding of Weezer was through the Red Album and then a handful of singles after
Really?
that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the Red Album?
Yeah, the Red Album. So 2008. So yeah, 2008 was the last time that I'd really listened to an entire Weezer album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You had heard songs prior to that.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Up through the Red Album.
Wait, you have albums before the Red Album?
For a second, I thought you were saying you were introduced to them by the Red Album.
No.
And I was very confused. But okay, cool.
No, yeah. So Blue Through Red.
But honestly, isn't that everyone's story? I mean, I think we would have been hard pressed to find a guest for this podcast who had continued listening to all of
like
Weezer's
a big
albums.
Pacific Daydream stand that's out there in the world, right?
I mean, literally, are there any of those? Is there? I don't think there's even one.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Right.
We'll get there. Right. So in that case, we have albums to rank, and we actually have 11 today. We have, of course, their big pop debut in the form of the Blue Album in 1994. Their much more confessional, grittier album Pinkerton from 1996. Their return to form that was the Green Album in 2001. The much heavier rocking Maladroit? How do you want to say it?
Maladroit, I believe.
Maladroit? Okay.
Yeah.
I've always saying Maladroit because I'm fancy.
Because you're fancy.
Also dumb. And from 2002. There was their very big pop overture that was Make Believe in 2005. There was the kind of pop rock hybrid that was the Red Album in 2008. There was the album called Ratitude in 2009. There was their, hey, let's get some pop songwriters in because that's what we need, Hurley in 2010. There was their, you know what guys, you're right, we have been sucking a little bit, everything will be alright in the end in 2014. There was the, hey, everything we said about not sucking a bit, guess what, the White Album in 2016. And there was the Maroon 5 album that is Pacific Daydream in 2017. God damn, there were even rumors that they were going to put out an album this year, 2018, when we recorded this, called, it was going to be another self-titled album, it was going to be the Black Album.
Black, I'd heard about that. Yeah.
I'm just glad that happened. And then when you say Red, Green, Blue, those are all self-titled albums. Technically, they are self-titled.
Yeah.
They're just the color of the album. That's how people refer to
It's a
it.
background with the band.
Hurley was also going to be self-titled with just a picture of Hurley on the cover, and then they realized that everyone was just going to call it Hurley, so they might as well call it
Hurley.
that.
Yeah.
So it didn't even matter which album was the White Album? Awesome, Weezer. Thank you. But the thing is that, like, that's a pretty good list. There's a couple weird things here. There's a couple EPs they have on here. A lot of the songs that are carried over there. Like, I'm not going to count their Record Store Day EP where they do I'm Your Daddy with Kenny G.
Right.
That was a thing that
Kenny
happened.
G, or what was the song with Sarah Bareilles?
If you're wondering if I want you to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. I'm not doing that one. There's also...
Things that needed to happen.
Are we ranking their Toto covers? Are we doing that today? I mean,
Oh my god, no.
Both
I mean, it's 2018, right? I mean,
We'll talk about that in the happy hour. You best believe we'll be talking about that in the happy hour.
because I have thoughts.
And then, of course, there is their album that they did in 2010. It was Death to False Mellow. It was a B-Sides Rarities compilations. Traditionally, we're not going to do those, and we're going to continue that tradition of not doing that. Also, they have a Christmas EP. We're not going to talk about that. So, anyway, I think it's a pretty good thing. 11 albums. We have a lot of stuff to do. And in case you're unfamiliar, what we do, we talk about it. We're going to get a definitive ranking, worst to best. And ultimately, in that thing, we're going to still debate. We're going to toss out nominations. We're going to take opinions. We're going to outvote. It's a friendly, wonderful conversation, possibly fueled by alcohol, but it's great. Also, we've been listening to a lot of Weezer, so I'm ready to get through this. Most importantly, though, Bilal,
Yes.
dear friend,
Yes.
so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Since you are the guest, you get an unenviable task, and I'm so excited about it. In terms of our worst to best ranking, number 11, not saying anything, what would you nominate as the worst Weezer album?
I am going to go with Hurley
Oh!
for number 11.
Okay, walk us through a little bit of your thoughts on this album.
Well, that's part of the problem. I don't have any. I heard Hurley for the first time in the past week, and and I'm looking at the track listing right now, and like nothing is floating.
I
to the
remember
surface.
how bad some of these songs are. Specifically, "Where's My Sex," which was I guess it's a joke of a song, but it's just Rivers rudely shouting about wanting his sex.
Yeah, and well,
throughout
yes,
the
that
song.
was bad. That was
Yes.
yes. Okay, now that you mentioned it, yes, that was okay. There it is. But I think also, like, I mean, I'm looking at these titles. Parts of these titles are just they're bland.
Memories.
Well, yeah, I mean, like all of these look like
Memories.
you could.
We want to go back there.
You could. I am dead certain you could put this track listing on the back of a Sarah McLachlan album, and maybe with the exception of "Where's My Sex."
I can imagine a piano ballad. Where's my sex?
No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't, but oh my god, that's the most real thing. That's so real. These are Sarah McLachlan song titles because she always goes with just like a single word that's
Or
like
ice cream.
from somewhere in
And I mean, and I'll say this as somebody who for a very long time, loved Sarah McLachlan and still has great fond memories of loving Sarah McLachlan. But these are Sarah McLachlan song titles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean...
And none of these songs are as good as Sweet Surrender, I'm telling you that right now.
Well,
Okay.
or like a dozen other Sarah McLachlan songs.
You're right.
But, okay, so, well, I wouldn't necessarily put Hurley down at number 11. It's absolutely one of the weakest albums they've put out. I think it has a couple points that make it worth talking about. Like, if you're a diehard Weezer fan, I think Time Flies is a really fun closer. It's
Time
just like a
Flies
goofy little...
Good.
Like, almost like I have said this so many times on our podcast. It's like a little Paul McCartney number. It is, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's totally just like, it's just him and an acoustic guitar. It's a little, it almost sounds like it was recorded on like a handheld or something. Like it's
like
a
it's
little
very staticky,
low
like
quality.
an iPhone audio note.
Yeah, exactly. Like a fucking iPhone audio note. I've also said this multiple times on the podcast. I'm gonna judge you if you have a song called "Hang On" and it's not incredible. Like, just don't worry. It's just
on Make Believe they have a song called "Hold Me," so that's like almost up there.
It's close.
Yeah.
I enjoy Unspoken. That's the one that starts, again, it starts like acoustic and then it goes into their more like heavy for the last like the final act.
Yeah.
But I think that's some of the better lyrics that we get out of Rivers in these last 4 albums. And yeah, that's about the end of the things that are really worth talking about. Oh, Smart Girls.
Yeah.
Smart Girls is like a stupid, fun song. It's co-written by Tony Kanal of No Doubt, and it shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's all over this album. The reason it doesn't sound like Weezer is because he brought in pop songwriters to
like Desmond
co-write
Child.
everything.
Yeah. Actually, I'll be honest, Runaway, the co-write he does with Ryan Adams, once I kind of hear it's Ryan Adams, I kind of dig it a little bit, but like, for the most part, like, I think there was just a good amount. A lot of people may not understand, especially if you listen to this podcast raw. Weezer were a rock band, a garage rock band that had a love of Kiss and hair metal, and decided to kind of wrap that around pop songs. They were nerdy kids, and it seemed like a great move to do. For a lot of people, that is the sound of the band, and almost every album they do is somewhat judged against that to a degree.
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing is that, like, around the time of Make Believe, they really, really started to move more and more into pure pop song territory. Yeah, there's rock guitars, but they don't really do ballads. They're pretty much straight up rock songs all the way through. And so, especially with Ratitude and especially with Hurley, they just went full bore pop. So, like, and that's like the thing where, like, in terms of trying to be as broad as possible, they also kind of lost a lot of that thing. I think about that Chuck Klosterman thing talking about the universality and specificity. When you're very specific about something, people can relate to that. I got engaged in front of the Tasty Freeze, that Trisha Yearwood song goes.
Right.
For a lot of people, they know exactly what that is. They know what that person, that place, everything. And the Tasty Freeze, a lot of Tasty Freezes around the world. Here, when it's just like, love is the answer kind of stuff, I'm like, no, stop. So,
Interesting.
I think just one final thing to say about this album is that some of the songs aren't bad. Like, Trainwrecks has a decent chorus. I think that, like, Ruling Me sounds like something you'd hear on XRT. But, like, and this is something that they're guilty of on not all of these last couple albums, but certainly Hurley and, like, Pacific Daydream, is that it doesn't matter that it's Weezer. Any band with lead singer, guitar, bass, drums could have made this album.
Right. Yes.
And that's the issue.
Or Sarah McLachlan.
Well, she can make those titles.
So, like, here's the thing. If you're going to nominate Hurley at number 11, I'm not going to fight hard against it. I just want to throw out my personal pick for it, because I don't really care these last couple slots. The White Album, for me, is bland, my friend. It is, it's one of the things where I hate Rivers for a very specific thing, which is, like, you should technically judge an album by itself without any other context clues, but if you're gonna put a white cover on it, there's a tradition of your color-coded albums, and you're gonna call your album the White Album, you are immediately locking yourself into a very specific type of lineage in history.
That's fair.
And you have an album that ultimately has zero qualities, because you don't have to sound like the Beatles, you don't have to do anything else like that, but when people talk about their White Album or something else like that, they're thinking broad, experimental, trying new things, breaking out into things, and that's not what the White Album is. It is a pop album.
In Rivers' own words, their new manager at this time was just like, you guys should make a surf rock album. And they were like, oh my god, that's so smart. We've never done that. I can't believe we've never made a surf rock album.
Yeah.
And so that's what they were trying here. And yeah, it sounds like they set out to just do a genre. And not really that there was any, like, you know, with this album, there's certainly, Rivers didn't have any, like, messages he wanted to get out. There wasn't, like, a song in his heart he needed the world to hear. It was just like, well, we should probably make another album, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and I have actual memories of this album, which is again, part of...
Memories!
No, see? See, and again, until you mentioned, like, until you sang, like, a half of them, like, oh, right, that was on Hurley. Yeah. But, like, my Hurley just slid right off me. I don't...
The blimpies of albums.
Yeah.
Just goes right through you.
Oh, man.
Wow.
It's funny because, maybe backtracking a little bit.
Yes.
Weezer's always felt to me a little bit like the Beach Boys as a garage band. Just in general.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, I can buy into that.
In, like,
yes,
chord structures, melodic type.
Yeah, and, like, you know, finding the and with a singular, like, you know, visionary presence.
Yes.
You know, that's, like, you know, very compelled to kind of meticulously toy with everything. So there was part of me that found this a weird curiosity. Like, I don't necessarily like the album, but I'm like, oh, it actually happened. Like, like, all this time I've like you're the Beach Boys as a garage band, and now you're just the Beach Boys, but you're still doing, like, you know, it's like you grab the Beach Boys' aesthetic sensibilities as well,
right,
and put it into a garage rock album. It doesn't necessarily mean that I like it.
Yeah,
but it stuck with me.
Okay,
so which is
more than Hurley,
which is why I'm putting it above Hurley.
Yeah.
So I actually really like a couple of the songs on here.
Really,
specifically, "Do You Want to Get High?"
Possibly. That one's fun.
Possibly, like, top 5 Weezer
songs.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Can't follow you there.
No, I know. And this was like...
He owns it.
Yeah, I know that it's not for every... I just really like the groove they hit on that, and I think that... I don't know, it's just hooky for me. It's just, like, exactly what I am looking for out of rock. So, but it's sort of an outlier on this album.
Right.
Like, I think, you know, King of the World has a solid chorus. LA Girls is, like,
LA Girls
so obvious.
Pisses me off, because it's like, hey, let me tell you what's wrong with you, LA Girls, that are running around. By the way, and then there's, like, that post-chorus bridge of, like, I will never love you more than anyone else has ever loved you. It's just like, where are you going?
It comes out of fucking nowhere.
Right, exactly.
That's the other thing, is that I feel like a couple times, like, Hurley and later, it's like he sets up this verse that's, like, telling the beginning of the story, and then the chorus is the end of the story. But, like, the chorus happens, you're like, hold the fuck up! I need approximately 12 more chapters before this chorus that you're writing makes any sense. Like, you only told, like, the first verse is, like, your first interaction, like, seeing this woman in the coffee shop and you kind of hate her. I'll never love you more. Like, what?
Okay, stop. Yeah. Also, in honor of the White Album, we are all eating cannolis. I want you to know that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Also, oh my gosh, Jacked Up. Jacked Up, it was produced by Red Light, who's, like, this UK house producer that I used to really love in, like, 2012. Totally lost track of.
Apparently for good reason.
For decent reason. But then Jacked Up is also, it kind of cops the drum beat from Maroon 5's One More Night, which was a #1 hit in 2012.
Okay, kind of, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
It's, like, identical, which I just thought was very interesting, because you said a couple times this week, as they get later in the career, it's like, this is just Maroon 5.
Basically,
This is just, they stopped making, like, interesting rock, and they started just making, like, safe, digestible, top 40 fare, except that Rivers Cuomo is not as hot as Adam Levine, so they're not going to have the success with that boring shit.
Okay. Well, you know, here's the other thing, though. We are, 20 minutes into the podcast?
Are you
I'm
serious?
really okay with going ahead and, 1941. I'm really okay with going ahead and just letting Hurley fall at number 11. I'm not gonna fight too hard for it there.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Let's just do that. And also, I feel bad, though. I felt like I lied to you earlier. And Bilal, I'm sorry. I mean, you're here in a state of, like, trust and honesty. I didn't want to do anything. I nominated the White Album. What am I thinking? What am I doing? The Ratitude, man.
I was going to say.
Holy fuck.
I was going to say, I was like, really? White Album already? Because, like, I don't love the White Album, but it has redeeming qualities.
Yeah, White Album was hired for me than Raditude, certainly. Yeah.
So let's talk about Raditude.
Let's talk about me in Raditude. Let's talk about that whole thing, since I am known as the guy who fucking shit all over Raditude, which is true.
It's on the Wikipedia page.
Every time I show up on a Wikipedia page, still freaks me out. Even because guess what? I'm not signed up on Wikipedia. People are just doing it.
You're not putting yourself on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm not that asshole. But let me tell you about why I hated Raditude. Why I gave it my only of like 3 times in my entire writing career I ever gave something a 1 out of 10 is because the entire time here's what you will say, and the thing is, Bilal and I were talking a little bit this week about the Red album. It's very much an overtly pop album, I would say. It could even be crass at times, make-believe, kind of also maybe a little bit crass in terms of its commercial intentions. Maybe there's a little bit of honesty in there, sometimes mixed in, or maybe there's a really good song in there. Raditude, straight up, end-to-end, feels disingenuous. It feels like they are this rock band that is essentially... they're trying to do pop songs, but they're trying to do it in the worst way. This is like their will.i.am album. This is that time when they discover, you know what, let's just make it as generic as possible. And
mass consumption, baby.
Oh, yeah, I know. And the thing is that, when I think about Love is the Answer, which, of course, has... There will come a day we'll take away the pain. Until that day, take it easy on yourself. What the fuck are you talking about? That's nothing. That's air-filling lyrics. You just put words.
Love is the Answer. It makes no difference what you prefer.
Right.
Really?
But, so here's... This is interesting for me about Love is the Answer. So, because, in spite of itself, I like Love is the Answer, and I don't like Raditude.
Okay.
And I will say part of it. I will say, and obviously your podcast can't see this. I'm half Indian, half Pakistani.
You're not white?
Yeah. Surprise, everyone! And
you listen to Weezer?
All of your clan members immediately throw down their podcasts. Anyway. No, yes. Anywho. Yeah, it's that's what I heard they were talking about a white album tonight.
Exactly. Tell me more.
Oh, yeah. No, so part of it is that familiarity, and I think it I enjoy when Western artists experiment with that, but it's also, to be clear, this is not George Harrison doing this.
No.
The lyrics are terrible, but in an entire album that does feel disingenuous, this feels like the most honest one on it to me. This feels like the one that Rivers Cuomo actually feels. Everything else in this album feels to me feels constructed. But I think part of what's not working in the lyrics or the performance of it is that he doesn't know how to express this thing he's feeling. Yeah, there's some it felt like the only genuine thing on this album to me.
That is so surprising. And it's interesting, though, and the only thing I would say about it is because when I walked over to Taran and I was looking at a Spotify playlist, and it had on there, Love is the Answer, and it also said, the qualifier, Hindi version. I'm like, Hindi version?
Right.
This is the version. Oh, no, I was wrong. This song also appears on Sugar Ray's comeback album from the same year.
That's right.
Music for Cougars, or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't give a shit. It's Sugar Ray. They had songs once. Anyway, but the thing is, I'm like, okay, that's fine, but this is him writing and putting out songs and giving them to other people, whatever. Honestly, the opening song in there, if you're wondering if I Want You To, I Want You To, the Butch Walker co-write, that was it feels like a song. It feels like there's enthusiasm.
Yeah, there's a hook in it. Yeah. There's a hook in it.
I really like I'm Your Daddy, and not just because it has the word daddy in it. I just think it's a solid hook, and especially in an era where that is just devoid of hooks or memorable melodies. I like that one stands out to me. But I mean, it's literally, and I actually listened to this album a couple more times than earlier ones I was more familiar with this week, because I was trying to get the songs in my head, and this one even more than Hurley for me. Just I can't tell you what these songs sound like.
Yeah.
Let it all hang out.
Yeah.
Let it all.
I'm going out with my homies.
Okay. Okay. Listen, guys.
Are we gonna talk about
okay. I thought we were gonna blaze through this. No, we're going into it right now. All right. So I'm gonna give my 2-point answer to this.
Okay.
First point. the conversation you and I, Bilal, were having about the Red album and what it's trying to do. Because it is a crass commercial album, but, like, when I heard Troublemakers, the opening song, when I hear the fucking, basically, like, metal song that is automatic and one of the best songs in their whole post, 2008 era, I was like, this doesn't feel like them. Like, it is Weezer, but it feels like, almost like as a challenge to himself. He's like, what if I wrote a song for frat, or an album for frat dudes?
Right.
And, like, it's one of the things when I viewed the album of the Red Album through that lens of, like, what if I'm, like, putting on this character? What if I'm putting on a kind of a persona? I'm like, okay.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of things I like about the album, a lot of things I don't like about the album, but I was like, I could almost buy the idea that Rivers is, like, kind of, like, doing... And then I feel like for Ratitude, and I hate you, Bilal, for even making me do this whole episode, even though we asked you to be on it. Because, like, in listening to this, I'm like, Ratitude's like, what if you did the same thing, but, like, for white suburban kids? Like, there's a crassness to it of, like, kids love Lil Wayne, let's get Lil Wayne on here. And the worst part of all, and I sent it to you, and I played it for Taran, on his Rivers Cuomo's Alone series, where he has, like, home demos and things like that, which is, like, kind of the genesis of songs, he did a version of Can't Stop Partying, which I heard prior to this album coming out, and it's just like him with an acoustic guitar by himself. I can't stop.
And it sounds fucking depressing.
Yes, it feels
when
like
you presented it. When you present it that way, it sounds like a song about substance abuse. But when you give it a full like top 40 production and put a verse from Lil Wayne on it, then it's just a Will.i.am song.
It just hides it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, if it is parody, it's doing a really poor job of it, because, like, I'm not buying it as parody. It's just, like, full bore, like, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, and because of this, like, I cannot like Pacific Daydream, I cannot like, parts of Make Believe, but Ratitude, more than any of them, feels like, this is the moment of, like, I'm gonna write the most generic pop songs ever. And therefore, like, that genuine feel of disingenuousness throughout almost the entire album, the girl got hot, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Like, a lot of that just kind of, like, it wears it down for me. So, like, that's, like, a rough one.
And I think there's something to be said about the gulf between In the Garage and In the Mall.
Oh my god! Yes!
Like, that is an arc.
And again, I feel like that, and it's weird how...
In the Mall written by one of the other band members,
I think it was Pat Wilson who did that. He also wrote Automatic, which is such a fucking amazing song, too.
Yeah.
Which is just... I don't get it. But yeah, and also I love how, like, there's that part on the White Album when he references a girl, like, let's go back to your place and listen to some Bacharach. I'm like, Rivers,
That's on Do You Want to Get High?
Do you want to get high?
We can put on some Bacharach and stop at any point.
And, like, that is such a weird...
I also love that song. Sorry, we
ahead.
already finished with it, but I love that song because none of the lines resolve. So the verse just kind of keeps going and looping, and so there's just that tension. Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
All right, so long story short, I would gladly put Ratitude at number 10. That's where I'm leaning.
Put Ratitude at number 11.
Yeah, I honestly,
early, but like
I know I can go either way. Like both of those, like.
Just because I have a personal grudge against it, I'm going to go ahead and rearrange it.
According to Wikipedia.
Exactly. According to Wikipedia, I think. Ratitude number 11, Hurley number 10.
All right, great.
Perfect.
We are actually doing that. Okay,
Fine
cool.
with that.
What would you nominate at number 9?
So this one is hard because my gut says Make Believe.
Okay.
But I think it's a little too early for that.
Okay.
Make Believe bugs me. And partly because I feel like it was the reason that we got all of this crap later is because Beverly Hills introduced Weezer to an entirely new audience of broy white dudes.
That's fair.
And then Weezer was like, oh, we have this new audience, we need to capitalize on them. And so they made broy white dude music instead of just like making good pop rock. But if I'm thinking with my brain and not my heart,
Thinking with Your Heart, the new album, Taran O'Reilly.
I think the next we have to go with Pacific Daydream.
I have no real arguments.
I mean, I kind of want to do a QB Blitz about this, really, is kind of how I feel.
I mean, for example, also, like, this is another one where you're getting into just the, like, oh my gosh, this is so, like, generic, and it's, like, just trying to tap into, like, Beach Boys. What a stupid fucking
there we
song.
go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, what you talked about was correct, but the thing about that song, it treats like the Beach Boys like it's a discovery. Like, guys, I just found out about the Beach Boys. That's what the lyrics were saying. It's like, no! Yeah.
Right, like, oh my gosh, let's listen to the Beach Boys. They're so good. Oh, turn it up because the Beach Boys is like party music. Like, no, the Beach Boys, you put on it, like, yes, everyone loves it. It's a feel-good, like, sing-along, but it's not like, pump up the jam, turn it up. It's the Beach Boys! But then they also go into, like, Feels Like Summer. Feels Like Summer legitimately, marketed differently, could have been a top 40 hit last year.
I'd agree. Okay, yeah.
But
I mean, it feels very radio.
But that's another one. Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like fucking Maroon 5. And that happens a couple times on this album where it's just like, again, it doesn't matter that it's Weezer. It could be literally any band, any...
I feel like there's nothing on Pacific Daydream that Fountains of Wayne hasn't done better.
Yeah!
Yes!
There we go.
Yes! And I am also a Fountains of Wayne apologist. I think they're a fucking brilliant
They're
pop
amazing.
band.
They're an amazing pop band.
Absolutely. Adam Schlesinger, he wrote that thing you do. Come on.
Right,
Let's be
right,
real.
exactly.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
he understands. He understands a pop hook inherently.
Better than Rivers Cuomo did. Okay,
Right.
and that also leads to my two things. One, Adam Schlesinger also wrote for Taran's favorite band, the Click Five. He did Just the Girl I'm Looking For. But more importantly, though...
Literally no one's ever heard of it.
I know. But the other thing, I was just like, fuck, I can't remember what I was going to say. But I realized, you know who Rivers Cuomo is going to work with next? And it just occurred to me while we were having this discussion right now. At some point, the Chainsmokers are going to call him on, and he's just going to appear on the most terrible song.
I mean, he has that RAC song.
Yes.
Chainsmokers are the next logical step. Well, that is if the Chainsmokers decide to start using guest vocalists again.
Yeah, well...
You know, they're having such success singing their songs themselves.
Yeah. But here's the thing, like, I want to have a discussion about this, and also at the same time, I feel like in the 20 seconds we talked about Pacific Daydream, I don't know what else there is to say.
There's nothing
about
else to say.
Yeah, because, like, Mexican Fender is, like, fine.
It's a song.
Any Friend of Diane's has a nice acoustic lead-in, but, like, you know, it's...
Any Friend of Diane's is actually, like, low-key really depressing.
Yeah.
It's about, like, Diane, like, I forget what she died of.
Oh.
She's dead.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
from the perspective of the
Any
song,
Friend of Diane, this is a friend of mine.
And so, yeah, that one, like, actually, that's, like, one of the only times where you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually, like, about something.
It has emotion.
This song's
Holy shit.
about grief. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You don't do that anywhere else in the last, like, 4 albums.
Right.
But yeah, that's really all there is to say, which is why, I mean, I think the 2 albums we've listed are worse. They have actual bad songs on them. Pacific Daydream just sort of exists.
Yeah, it's a pop album that came out.
Yeah. That's kind of where I am. Like,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling, like, the real discussion is about to happen, but, like,
Right.
Pacific Daydream, let's just
so we're limiting the easy outs first.
Exactly,
Yeah.
there's that. Personally, I feel compelled to throw the White Album at number 8, unless there's someone else that has another strong...
Well, it seems like you dislike Make Believe more than
Yeah.
the White Album. Is that correct, or...?
I thought there were songs you may have liked off of Make Believe. Because he was raving earlier this week about We Are All on Drugs.
I was not raving.
So we are all on drugs and you want to get high. I think you're
there's a
communicating
theme, there's a
something.
theme.
I was not.
That's right, he's an alcoholic.
No,
There it
yes.
is.
We are all on drugs is like perfectly nice. But like, tell me what are the other highlights on Make Believe?
I like the chord.
This is such a pig.
Oh my god.
Not that one.
You know what? I gotta be honest. Freak Me Out actually kind of got me good.
Okay,
it's the one
sure.
that dun, 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 like it had a nice like low key thing. There's a little bit more stripped down instrumentation that was going on in it. I kind of dug it. It was just also kind of weird how Pardon Me is a song about like I did something bad, and then my best friend is like I got a best friend. Every time he walks in the room, I smile. It's
I'm
like,
in love with him.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what? I sent that to our friend Adam, but like still like I'm just like thought it was such a weird like thing. Like I feel like Make Believe is that moment. And here's the thing, Beverly Hills, we could talk about Beverly Hills being like this their big pop single, and listening to it, I always dismissed it. Always dismissed it as being a piece of shit white boy kind of song, idealistic. But I keep forgetting about the bridge and
the bridge, yeah.
Right, exactly. Where it's just like, you know, like, and it talks about how the only reason you're gonna have this life is if you're born into it. And it's like, but no, I'm not. I'm just, you know, and he starts, and I'm like, there's that level of self-deprecation that like almost lands it.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, there's like I think that to me like saves enough of Beverly Hills for me. Because it does feel like a brief moment of him. Okay, overabiding theory. I feel like there's an overabiding theory for me of Rivers Cuomo, which is that he was so sincere on Pinkerton that it became very, very hard for him to be that sincere ever again.
Absolutely.
Well, especially because he was so sincere on Pinkerton and then got serious backlash.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So he was like, "Well, I'm never pouring my heart out again."
Yeah, right. I mean, and obviously, it's like, in hindsight, it's a classic, and everybody loves what a classic it is. It's like, but there's been so many albums in between where you all hated it, so you can't find that Rivers again.
Yeah, and he will never show up. He's completely...
Yeah, you killed him.
You, the listener to this podcast, you killed Rivers.
You personally killed.
That's why he's doing covers of Blink-182's all the small things.
There is another timeline. There's another timeline where people appreciated Pinkerton at the moment, and they have a much better Weezer discography than ours does.
Yep, I know. I'll also not forget the Rolling Stone Readers poll in 1996 called Pinkerton the worst album of the year.
Right.
So, that's pretty
dang
brutal. Yeah.
That is brutal.
Yeah, they rejected him, and he felt rejected for that reason too.
Yeah.
So that's why between the White Album, which is him basically I envision him in an apartment in LA, looking over Santa Monica Boulevard and just looking at girls. I'm like, I'm gonna write a song about that. I feel like that's kind of the vibe of it. Make Believe, it's not a great album. It's not gonna be on anyone's all-time list unless you're a weirdo. And I would say I was about to say I enjoy it, but I couldn't do that. But at the same time, it's not the worst.
Make Believe is when the pop synths really come in for the first time.
Well, this is Rick Rubin. Yeah.
Right. Sure, it's Rick Rubin. Right. They're working with a pop producer instead of a rock producer. But, it's so just obvious to me that it's not... that it's an outside influence.
Yeah. But here's the only thing I will say. In terms of the White Album, I know Do You Want to Get High strikes to you. For me, with Make Believe, Perfect Situation, I kind of like. I do like that chorus. I really do.
Look, okay, Perfect Situation, I get pissed off. This is similar to, if you call a song Hang On or Hold On, it better be really fucking good or why are you bothering? Don't give me a fucking chorus that's just singing, oh, 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 oh. Really? You couldn't think of anything about this topic that you actually wanted to write a chorus about? That's not a chorus. That's just a masturbation.
Well, here's the thing then. I love talking about masturbation because we are the Beatles. But most importantly, though, I feel like we're basically in agreement. White Album, Make Believe, kind of in this spot right here, roughly, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, Bilal, how are you going to break this tie?
Oh, man.
Unless you have
something else.
Yeah, I know.
The Green Album. What?
No. Well, it's weird because I think when I talked to you earlier this week, I was dropping Maladroit at the very, very bottom of this stack, and I listened to it again, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. But I still feel I feel like I like the first half of Maladroit much more than I like the second half.
Yes,
sure.
I like full
so
agreement.
Much.
Yeah,
and I feel like when I listen to Make Believe, it's weird. I have a similar experience with Make Believe and Hurley, similar experience between Make Believe and White Album, which is that I heard them all kind of as one album. If I go back to it, I'm gonna go, oh right, that was an individual song, that was an individual song, and so I kind of took them as individual whole feelings, and I liked the feeling I got from Make Believe more than I liked the feeling I got from White Album.
Okay.
Which doesn't necessarily.
No, I mean that's fair. Sometimes that's how we have to judge it. It's just overall, how does the album make you feel? Because individual songs can pop up, but that's not what we're talking about as far as this ranking.
Yeah. So I think I would go White Album 8. Make Believe 7.
I'm cool with that.
I am very okay with that too. I think that's good. So let's just go ahead and recap for our dear friends at home. Number 11, Rightly So, Ratitude. And then number 10, we have Hurley. At number 9, we have Pacific Daydream. At number 8, we have the White Album. At number 7, we have Make Believe. So that's good. We're in a good spot right now. We're in the top half kind of for the most part. Mm-hmm. Number 6. For the record, we have left the Blue Album, Pinkerton, the Green Album, Maladroit, the Red Album, and Everything Will Be Alright in the End.
I know what I would put next.
What would you put next?
All right, you guys.
Uh-oh. Oh, I think I know what's coming. Oh, shit.
Pinkerton.
Oh!
Look, I know that it's slowly got over their 5-year hiatus. It gained cult status, and now it's platinum, and I get it. It's very confessional, but the songs just don't stand up. When you're looking at because truly, Rivers Cuomo is a pop songwriter. And so when I'm looking at Weezer, that's what I'm looking for, is to them to give me those, like, instant, like, grab you by the balls, like, this is an amazing pop moment. And there just aren't any on Pinkerton. And I know that's not what they were going for, but just as a listening experience, it doesn't do much for me. There are some moments that are, like, really grating, and even the parts that I do like, it makes me uncomfortable, which again, I know is the point. That's part of the appeal of it. That's part of why people really like it. But literally, if I'm cringing listening to your lyrics, not because they're stupid like on Later, but because they're little too personal and maybe a little racist, then like I don't.
They're absolutely racist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's that. Also, he's just basically songs about him jerking off to his fucking fan mail, which is like,
right.
Okay.
Right. Well, and that's one of the best things on here. Like, I think that Across the Sea, it's a fucked up song.
Yeah.
But also, it's very honest.
Exactly.
And it's almost like, a creepy guy trying to explain to you why what he's doing isn't creepy. And you're like, I get it, but also you just shouldn't have told me in the first place.
Yeah.
That's sort of what this song is, because he's like, I could never touch you, it would feel wrong. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you put that lyric in, because also I think El Scorcho is stupid and fun and like
El Scorcho.
but that's
I love that opening line. I just find that opening line just like kind of beautiful in its brutal.
El Scorcho?
Yeah. God damn you half Japanese girls. Yeah. Like it's me every time. It's kind of brutal.
Yes.
I think so. For me, it is Pinkerton's honesty that puts it much higher than where you're putting it right now.
Yeah. The thing is that, like, I will say that there's a lot of Weezer fans out there who probably, while there are Pinkerton, like, oh, clearly their best album kind of things, I think there are a lot of people that would probably ascribe to Taran's opinion, too. Just, like, it's not as great as you remember it. Like, I get that.
Also,
Butterfly.
Pink Triangle.
Yeah.
I'm dumb, she's a lesbian. That's actually like one of my favorite songs that I discovered this week.
Yeah.
Also, everyone's a little bit queer. Why can't she be a little bit straight? Yeah.
So I'm never going to be able to divorce myself. I'm always going to be subjective on Pinkerton. Because 1996 was my freshman year of college.
Oh!
So there is a lot in here that has like way too much personal meaning. There's like stuff in Why Bother. There's stuff in Pink Triangle. There's like stuff throughout.
Why Bother?
Yeah. Like even the
Why Bother is so self-defeatingly wonderful.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. No, but I mean even the things that like aren't my experience, like. The things that are my experience are also spoken so, again, with that sort of brutal honesty that, like, even the things that I can't empathize, even the things that I don't experience, I can empathize with.
Okay.
Which is, that's Pinkerton for me.
We call that the nostalgia goggles. But that's also totally valid. I threw this out because this would be my personal ranking. I was not expecting us to actually put this here.
Okay.
But
I'm
just know that
it's good to know
that's
that.
Definitely Pinkerton is what I would have next.
Yeah, I mean, his number one is, as we know, the Red Album, so it's going to be a whole different... but that being said, so I get that, but I would personally... I would say, if I'm being honest, and I'm honestly kind of surprising myself, Maladroit would probably be next for me.
That's where it is.
I feel like it has to
be. Of the 6 we have left...
Yeah. And I respect this album a lot, because I feel like after... some people thought that when the Green Album, when they came back with that, they were like a little bit too pop, they were kind of basically trying to recreate the Blue Album. They have the color scheme, they have the same producer, everything else like that. But the thing is that, like, I feel like Maladroit is, like, very much kind of a course correction of, like, oh, by the way, guys, we can still rock hard. Like, that was kind of their thing. Like, they felt like they had pop singles, they wanted to, like, prove that they're a rock band. And there's some great fucking songs on here.
There's some kick-ass songs on here.
American Gigolo is one of my favorite openers, I think, of an album of this era, because it just fucking strikes you with a fucking hammer. It's just so good. Yeah.
I compared this earlier in the week to almost like their Smashing Pumpkins record.
That's
where,
fair.
like, they took their long break, they came back, they did their, like, pop reboot with Green Album with the same producer that did Blue Album. And then they were like, okay, now that we're back on the scene, what's a, like, different direction we can take ourselves in? And that's sort of what this feels like to me. But I will also say that, like, my favorite things on here are not when they're going harder rock. It's when they're going a little more airbrushed with Burnt Jam. Which just has, like
that fucking
just,
riff.
It's such a simple little guitar riff, but it so grabs you immediately. And then, you know, the song that they built around it is, you know, perfectly nice. I think that just almost like accidentally is like one of their best
I would agree,
songs.
100%.
But then I also feel similarly about Take Control. I just really like something about the production on that. Like, I listen to it and I recognize that, like, in the hands of someone else, I would hate this. But they just, like, they sort of put the pieces together perfectly.
But Bilal, you're explaining that you were a fan of the first half of this album.
Yeah, so I think after Burnt Jam, it starts to slide out of my memory.
I really would agree.
Yeah.
Because, like, December, Love Explosion, I couldn't tell you what fucking Love Explosion sounds
I
like.
literally, like 3 times in the last 24 hours, I've been scrolling through my list and being like, Love Explosion.
Right.
Which one is Love Explosion?
And you should remember a song called Love Explosion.
I still don't remember.
Right.
But I think that's part of why earlier in the week I was like, I really dislike Melodroid. It's because I dislike the last half of it and, you know, recency effect. So, you know.
Right, exactly. No, I totally get that. Because then you also, like, Keep Fishing is solid.
Yeah.
Dope Nose is a single.
Dope
Nose
is solid.
Yeah.
Whoa, and that feels like a hair metal, like, pure, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a sequel to Hashpipe.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
but it's more optimistic.
Which
and
they do a lot.
Yeah. But also, it's one of those rare times where legitimately it sounds like the band's having fun, because, like, during Dope Nose, like, you hear the band like, here we go now! Like,
right,
they have these little back-end ad-libs that are coming in, and it's just like, this is the Weezer that we're down for. This is the one where it's goofy. And the thing is, I feel like they're, like, self-referential, they're quirky, but the goofiness on there, that's part of the reason why the Blue Album works so well, is because it's just so, I mean, it's pure in its goofiness.
Right.
You know, you take your car to work, I take my board. Like, that's stupid, but it's great, you know, at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a buy-in there. So, yeah, there's only one other album that is even in the same contention for me, but honestly, I would put it above Maladroit.
What is the other album?
It would be Everything Will Be Alright in the End.
That's kind of where I am, too.
That's definitely where I am, and honestly, my thing is that I like Maladroit so much more than Pinkerton.
Really?
That, like, I mean, it's the ranking, and we'll move on eventually, but that'll be a hard pill for me to swallow if we put that Pinkerton above that. But I would be okay if we put Everything Will Be Alright in the End next, because I do like it. I do. I think Ain't Got Nobody. Everything Will Be Alright on the End is like, especially in this later era, you put on Everything Will Be Alright in the End and you're like, oh, thank God there are hooks.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
The
choruses are actually, like, good.
Yeah, having gone through Ratitude and Hurley and then getting to Everything, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you walked out of the wilderness. It was
right, exactly.
Totally.
And Ain't Got Nobody, I love the part where just the opening part is just them vamping of just bum, 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 bum. But there's, like, radio broadcast, everything else like that. And then they just get right into it. It just feels like it's not the masterpiece that it could have been, but I also don't care because it is so clearly the standout and something that they did so well and then they just fucking walked away from, and I felt so bad about too. Like, it's just this weird little misnomer. Yeah,
I've Had It Up to Here is like the best Queen song that Queen didn't. That's not true. A lot of people have done the Queen thing.
Right.
But I do appreciate how Rivers found his falsetto as time went on, and I think that he just uses it masterfully on that song. There are some really great harmonies happening, and that's definitely a highlight for me. But then on the other hand, you have Da Vinci.
Yeah. I can almost forgive it though, given the quality of everything else here.
It's just the lyrics are so dumb. But then also, like, there's a lot of songs on here that, like, almost work. Yes. Where, like, I like a lot of what's going on, and then they go, you can't control me no more, Cleopatra.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, not only did you fall out of time for the hook of your song, what the fuck were you thinking? Yeah. But then you pronounced it Cleopatra because you needed another syllable.
They stole the syllable
back. Exactly. Yeah. There it is. You found it. it was 20 years later.
I was about to say it took 20 years for them
that
to
syllable
find
returned.
Yes. So
Wow, this is actually a work of musicology.
I know, right? Quite frankly, you're welcome, America.
Also, there's a 3-part suite at the end. Does anyone give a shit?
Here's
At
the
all?
thing. Here's the thing about that 3-part suite. It's like totals what 7 minutes,
7 minutes,
tops.
yeah.
And it's like pure instrumental. It didn't need to happen, and they did it anyway.
Well, that's the
I
thing, it's-
respect the
It's
fuck out
not
of
pure
it.
instrumental.
Yeah.
Anonymous is a song.
Mm-hmm.
It's a full, that's just a Weezer song
Yeah.
on its own. And it's in the middle of this suite, I guess?
I felt like it's just like, it doesn't really need to happen, and yet it's just like they decided to suite it together for whatever reason. I'm like, good on you.
It's
Like, I
'cause
can't.
they just wanted to play around with guitars, is what it seems like. The thing about the suite to me is that it just doesn't seem. It both seems very composed and also they made it up on the fly. It doesn't have any actual lasting impression. Which, thankfully I can't say that about a lot of the other songs on this record, but I do think that it feels less like Weezer than Pinkerton or Maladroit.
Yeah, but I still feel like there's so many things on here that strike to me. Honestly, the song I've had stuck in my head all week, Against All Odds, it's not even a great song, but for whatever reason, the British were coming.
I thought that hooked me immediately. Yeah. It was kind of surprising that
That's the one that gets the British are coming. For whatever reason, it just struck me. And then, of course, Back to the Shack is basically, it's not necessarily confessional in the way that Pinkerton is, but it's an acknowledgement of you're right, guys.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
That's a solid tune.
Exactly. And, I appreciate that. Back to the Shack is as close to being in the garage as possible.
Right.
But, it's just so relatable. So, yeah, it's a very strong album, especially when you put it next to Maladroit. It's tough. I'm going to give you, I understand your aversion towards Pinkerton. I think you're going to be outvoted a little bit on some things here, which is fine. But personally, yeah, if we will put everything, we'll be all right in the end at number 6, I would definitely push for a Maladroit number 5. That's what I would say.
And Pinkerton at 4?
Let's do 6 and 5 first. Let's get there. Let's get to 6 and 5 first.
Can we do that? All right.
Yeah.
And most importantly, let's go ahead. Let's just do that real quick. So number 6, everything will be all right in the end. And kudos to you, Weezer, for putting out a not terrible album that far in your career. We didn't think you had it in you.
Quite literally.
Number 5.
Going into this week, we didn't think you had it in you. It was a very pleasant surprise.
It was such a wonderful
getting to that
surprise.
album and be like, oh, this is good.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, this is a good record.
Guys. All right, in that case, then, we are down to the Blue Album, Pinkerton, the Green Album, and the Red Album. So Pinkerton and the other not primary colors. Let's take a look.
RGB.
Green is Sokola, the Yellow Album. Let's just call it that.
Pinkerton's the pink album.
Now, we know that Taran has controversially and amazingly thrown out his Pinkerton thing. No tea, no shade. I respect his opinion whatsoever, but I'm just curious to see Bilal. Number 4.
Number 4 for me here.
What's your feelings?
Of these 4.
This
Of
is
these
tighter
4
than I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be.
Of these 4, I'm going to say green.
Nope.
Yeah.
Go ahead, explain yourself.
No, I'm
Wow.
just saying of these 4. Pinkerton and Blue, I think both have what you refer to as nostalgia glasses for me. And I think I like Red a little bit more than Green. And I'm saying this as somebody who really loves Green.
Yeah.
So it's
I kind of feel bad for Taran right now because I'm not saying that I'm agreeing with him.
It's fine. This never happens that I get outvoted constantly. So I
go through it a lot.
It's good to be in this position
Right.
finally.
But here's the thing, though. The Green Album, let's just talk about the Green Album a little bit, though, because the Green Album is great. And the thing is, I really feel like for all these things, they are great. I'd say the biggest surprise this week, I feel like if you asked any casual Weezer fan in the street, hey, you Riot Fest attendee, top 3 Weezer albums go, they're going to say the first 3, I think, for the most part. So the fact that the Red Album is kind of even in this mix is a surprise, because the Red Album has some dog shit songs on it.
Right.
And it has some great ones, too. Legitimately. Because I think we can, as a group, as a nation, I think we could possibly agree that the greatest man that ever lived, Variations on a Shaker hymn, is questionable.
The
It's
worst
a
Weezer
little
song?
weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a completely a failed experiment.
Yes.
Just like I understand where they started.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how they finished it and then were like, yes, let's put this on our album. Like
Especially the second track. Yeah.
it feels more like a songwriting exercise
Then
than it
I'll be
does
dancing in your
feel like
underwear.
an actual song
Yeah.
worth listening to.
Mhm. Right. And the thing is that, like, the Green Album holds a lot for me, and especially because it has those two singles off it. It has Hash Pipe.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird song when you really break it down, but God, it's memorable. And also Island in the Sun.
Huh.
Holy
I
shit.
was reading that Hash Pipe and Dope Nose were written in the same drug-fueled writing session.
Hey.
Like, in the same evening.
I believe that.
You know, I'm sorry, I'm changing my mind.
Yeah!
No, you're right. I wouldn't put green at 4. No, I think I'd put red at 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about Green Album. Let's talk about Red Album.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like Green Album is one of those things where tonally, aside from Island in the Sun, it is very much kind of a clean, like, solid, the same textures, the same sounds over there for the most part, though. It is produced very well. It is very sleek. It is 28 minutes.
I would
Right.
argue that Island in the Sun tonally fits. It may not be as gritty as the rest, but it's the same goddamn chord structure as Photograph and even kind of uses the same hook. So, as far as, like, fitting in the album, I absolutely think it does. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. And the thing is that, like, the biggest thing in going through this week, because I feel like because we have those two amazing singles off it, like, you have a great nostalgia for it. I like Smile, I really do. I think it's a pretty generic song until you hit the chorus, when his vocal hook really carries it farther than it needed to go. But, like, Oh Girlfriend? This is not going to be my all-time favorite kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel like even Glorious Day is kind of like, it's fine, you know? The Green Album, I have a lot of good feelings towards. I don't think there's necessarily bad songs on there. Not like offenses, like variations on the Shaker Hymn. But I feel like it is a good album. It is the reboot that we needed. It shows that they can still write pop hits. But more importantly, they can write pop hits as Weezer, not writing pop hits for pop hits' sake. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But I also think that Don't Let Go is a really solid opener.
It's one of my favorite openers. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I really like Don't Let Go. Yeah.
And, like, Knockdown Drag Out is, like, a perfectly nice, fun, little Weezer rock number.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Speaking of nostalgia goggles.
Okay,
Yeah.
Speaking of nostalgia goggles, probably I have some for this album because, like, Hash Pipe and Island in the Sun were just so ubiquitous during the 2000s. They were inescapable. At least it felt like to me. Maybe it was just in the circles I ran in. But, like, Hash Pipe is
circles, baby.
unquestionably my favorite Weezer song. And so it's hard to put that aside and think about how, okay, actually maybe this album isn't the most incredible from start to finish. But it has, I mean, that run of Photograph, Hash Pipe, Island in the Sun, I challenge you to find...
Actually, I would say all 4 from Don't Let Go through Island in the Sun.
Yeah, that's almost like perfect. Like if they kept down that range, again, like 28 minutes, very concise.
Well, so actually, that is like 30 to 40% of the album. Right
exactly
there.
right.
Exactly.
Like that's a good run. Exactly. I know it's still not. It's not going to be my number one though. That's the biggest.
No,
thing.
it's not my number one either.
Yeah. But I mean, but Green and Red, obviously I've been juggling them back and forth between 3 and 4.
So let's talk about the Red album then, just as is though, because there's a lot to say about that too. Genuine surprise that it's even in contention here. And again, I really feel like viewing it through the lens of him writing fucking frat boy songs kind of did a lot for me. There's still things I hate about this album, bear in mind, because Everybody Get Dangerous, it's, as Taran accurately described, it is a Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
Yeah.
Like Full Bore. Also, it just irritates... go ahead.
Okay, so the thing about Everybody Get Dangerous is that, it starts and you're like, okay, they're just doing the RCHP thing. You're just kind of like, you're ready to move on, and then 2.5 minutes in, it goes into this, like, dream sequence section.
Yeah.
Where it's just, like, flowy with lots of, like, oohs and harmonies, and you're like, this is not where I saw this song going at all. Also, does it fit with the title, Everybody Get Dangerous?
Yeah. But also the thing,
and then it comes out of the dream sequence with like a full like breakbeat drum section, and that's the outro of the song. And like the first time I listened to it, I was like, that's just incorrect. But then as I kept going, I was like, okay, I actually kind of dig that they took this archetype, this like pop, like the single note verse is very common. It's all over pop music. And so I kind of liked that they took that, and then they were like, but that's not actually what we're doing for this whole thing. And they threw in a couple different sections. Yeah. It's still not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I appreciate some of the differences they tried to bring to that template.
I just hated lyrically how that song is like, we're doing these bad things, we're breaking up some mailboxes, but actually my friends did. I didn't have anything to do with it, which isn't the actual lyrics, but it's roughly an approximation of like, my friends did these badass things and I didn't. Like, cool, Rivers. That's nice that you're able to reinterpret your friends' experiences through the form of song. Like, that's like kind of my thing. But then again, like, Troublemaker, it's kind of a weird song. It's also the song that has the line of, I'll find myself a biatch having 7 kiosks, which is the slant rhyme of the century. But then again, like, there's other things on their heart songs.
I like heart songs.
I like heart songs. It's this little weird...
It's clever.
Yes.
It's clever. I think, I feel like Red Album as an album doesn't quite hold together.
Yes.
Like, it does feel like a collection of individual songs.
Well, I think part of that, too, is because this is the only album where the other band members each have a song where they do lead vocals. When you have Thought I Knew, Cold Dark World, Automatic, that each cycles through a different lead vocalist.
Yeah.
So that
Automatic
definitely...
being the best of them, by the way.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
But that definitely makes it feel less cohesive because it's not that singular voice that you're used to hearing.
But I think the thing I'll say is that, like, so the thing I said earlier about, like, having basically all this sincerity, like, pushed out of him.
Yes.
I feel like this album, in the revelation you had for it, it felt like, I feel like he's being insincere, and he knows he's being insincere in a way that maybe I don't quite see in...
Which makes sense following Make Believe, because they had a whole new audience, they could see it in their shows, they see it in the crowd, and they're just like, okay, let's make an album for those people, or as those people, potentially.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so the idea of him, like there's a part of it that feels satirical, I think. Mm-hmm. Like, which is what you were saying, like, that sense of, like, I've written this as a frat boy.
Right.
But there's also something about, like, I feel like he wrote it as a frat boy 3 years out of college. So I feel like there's a part of, like, songs that he has in this album that feel a little bit like he's trying to recapture something that's never coming back.
Yeah, that was my sort of look at it too, is that this almost feels less like frat boy and more like bachelorhood.
Right.
You've moved out of the frat house, but you haven't figured out how to stop living like that.
Yeah, like you're you do have your own apartment in a city now, but you're not sure what it is you do.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, a fun fact, Timbaland knows his way to the top of the charts. Maybe if I work with him, I could perfect the art.
And then two albums later, he tries that.
Yeah, and here's the worst thing. Pork and Beans is kind of, like, lyrically, like, okay, it's catchy.
It is. It's super catchy. Well, and and honestly, I mean, I adore Pork and Beans for what they did video wise.
Yes.
But that is the same sort of thing where it's like we have grabbed literally the entire internet,
right,
and shoved it into a video. And in kind of an elegant way, which is so. But at the same time, it's shorthand.
It definitely feels like people will watch this video because it has all these things that they know already in it, and then we'll get hits.
Exactly.
Like, when I first saw that on the one, at first I was like, this is a cool concept, and then I was like, this feels like some record label BS. Mm-hmm. And I the thing is too, is like, I saw a couple people in there, I was like, there's no way she listens to Weezer.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's something for the Happy Hour mini-sode, because I do want to talk about Weezer as a visual band.
Sure.
Because I feel like a lot of people seeing these nerd rock kids play rock guitars and then not sucking at it, I feel like is transformational, especially in the 90s. Mm. We'll get there.
I will... Not necessarily video-wise, but I will say visually, Red Album is also mustache Rivers Cuomo, which is part of what feels insincere.
Right, yeah.
But feels constructed insincere. Because it's like that's not. You know,
Not
it's like,
mustache and cowboy hat.
Right, exactly. Mustache and cowboy hats, like you have been constructed. You've constructed yourself in a way that, like, I mean, like the beard he was wearing for Maladroit was like that. Okay, that feels like feels natural.
It feels like something you would do.
Yeah, the mustache felt like a complete. Like if he had pulled it off of himself, like you know, it was like it would not have surprised me.
All that spirit gum. Oh my god.
Exactly.
Right,
exactly. Which is part of where I land.
So, Bilal, if you had your druthers, number 4.
Red. I'll go red.
Pinkerton.
Okay. Which we've discussed.
Here's the thing. Red Album, unlike these other albums that we're talking about, has bad songs on it. Legitimately has really, really bad songs on it. Like, here's the thing. Butterfly, you can take it or leave it as whatever kind of acoustic ballad. It's not variations on a Shaker hymn, though.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. So I'm just going to personally let's go ahead, put Red Album at number 4. Now, the real question then, I mean, and again, this is, I feel like the battle of the nostalgia goggles, though, because you have Pinkerton in your head, and you have Green Album in yours. And also, I know you nominated Pinkerton a while ago, too. So that's, part of the nature of the game. I get it. I understand it there. So, Bilal...
I could be okay Pinkerton at 3. I could be okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think these... And,
okay.
There's also a part of me that feels a little bit like, oh, look, I've done the first 3 albums. I'm that Weezer fan. But
no. Here's the other thing, though. I would challenge you, and I would challenge myself, and it's something I've had to do when I did the review of it, too, and I did the deluxe edition, too, is Pinkerton truly a classic? It has great songs, it's that confessional thing, it is truly uncomfortable, it is raw nerve. That's how I would define this album. I would still say, personally, I would disagree with Taran and say there are fucking amazing hooks on it there. Tired of Sex, I feel like it's just this fucking balls to the wall in the red speaker thing, and it still gets stuck in my head to this day, to say nothing of Why Bother, Across the Sea, The Good Life, Pink Triangle. Like, there's just so many great immediate hooks that come to my mind off this album. However, I would argue, despite some people saying that it is this confessional masterpiece, it is a very good, very different album from them. I would not necessarily say it is a full-bore, wall-to-wall masterpiece. That is what I would say about Pinkerton.
And I think that it suffers from being self-produced. I think that if they had continued to work with the same producer who made Blue Album and changed nothing else about the formula and just had someone who is a professional mix it for them and say, hey, maybe we should do that vocal take again, I think I would like it more. But it sounds sloppy at times.
And I would say that that's the point.
Yeah, I feel it's part of its charm.
Okay, fine.
Well, listen, I'd say maybe we could do this thing. You nominated it so long ago, and I feel like we've talked about it enough. We can maybe put Pinkerton at number 3.
I could feel okay with
Green Album number 2, but let's just take a moment to talk about how fucking amazing the Blue Album is and why no other Weezer album can ever possibly touch it in terms of just how it's the album. Yeah. It's the album. When you think of Weezer, you think of the Blue Album. Yeah. That's what happens.
To the extent that this week when we started doing research, I was like, oh shit, this came out in 94?
Uh-huh.
Like, these songs were still so everywhere that if you had told me it came out in 2003, I wouldn't have questioned it.
Yeah.
Like, Buddy Holly is still like... I feel like everyone knows that song. Right. Everyone knows Say It Ain't So. Like, these songs have just completely, like, permeated the culture. And for good reason. And they're backed up by an album where it's just constant hooks.
Right.
It's constant, like, immediate... like, just perfect pop rock.
Honestly, I'm looking at the track list, and unlike any other Weezer album this week, I can look at every single song, and I immediately hear it in my head.
Which is kind of amazing for an album that's, 24 years old.
And part of the beauty of it, too, is just the simplicity. Like, The World Has Turned and Left Me Here does not have a very complex anything going on, but it just... like,
that's my
listen to it once.
That's my number 1. Yeah,
like, that's your favorite
Weezer song.
Nice.
That's good. Although Taran was pointing out very correctly that No One Else is kind of fucked up.
It is.
It hasn't aged particularly well. But at the same time, much like Pinkerton, I can't really discount it because if you're a fucking 20-something that's just like, I want my girl to be loyal to me, like, you can talk about the problems morally with that pose, but like, it's sincere in how it's presenting itself.
Is it like a little terrifying and patriarchal and toxic? Yes, but it's not. At least he's expecting that from his girl, but then he also states explicitly in the lyrics that that's what he will be giving back. Like,
Right.
it's not like a double standard sort of situation, which is what I have a problem with
Well,
a lot of songs in that vein.
So many love songs we are dedicated to each other.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually saying that, but it's saying it in a way that feels weirdly controlling.
Yeah.
Right, like, I want you to be devoted to me first before
Right.
I'm able to give that to you.
Right. Well, not just first, but only. It is because it is the no one else part of it that makes you sit here and go, oh, wait a minute.
Hardcore monogamy.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. No, she's got to be able to laugh for other people.
Right.
You know, she has to work and stuff.
You can go to the Laugh Factory together, all right?
To be able to, like, have normal social interactions.
Right, you see this comedian looking down and like, what is nothing funny? I'm sorry, I can't. I only laugh for him.
Yeah,
He'll tell me your routine later, and then I'll laugh.
He'll repeat it to me, and he's funny. Trust me. Right.
Yeah.
But then again, even Say It Ain't So, which has some weird dad drama going on.
Oh, God, well, that bridge is...
That's what it's all about.
Well,
It's about
and
dad
that's
drama.
and Say It Ain't So is that specificity we were talking about at the top of the hour because there are things that are like I don't understand these details specifically, but they are details.
Right. This bottle of Stevens awakens ancient demons.
Yeah, the foreman is interesting. That's another one, but just like those sorts of details are all over this album.
And then honestly, fucking Only in Dreams, that fucking groove, that do, and like they write it out the whole 7 minutes. It just works.
Right, which I think that's an interesting thing because when you compare that to Futurescape, Futurescope, sorry, like cause it's not that they've never done that before. It's not that they've never done a 7-minute meander before, but it's not.
Yeah.
But
they follow the same groove.
The difference is Only in Dreams they find a groove and they run with it and they add little things on top and they play with it, but it's still a cohesive piece.
Right.
Whereas the Suite has definite like separate movements, and even sometimes within the movements there are different sections that don't get called back to.
Well, and I will say Only in Dreams also because that groove feels like it's following what was left behind from Undone. Mm-hmm. So it's because it is a similar type of meander, but it's like if this were a two-sided thing, it's like side one ended, but that groove didn't really stop, and they found it again at the end of side two.
Because they found that syllable later.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're still going. Hey, let's keep going with you.
Yeah.
I will say though, I feel bad for them because I feel like the Blue album is such a good debut.
Yeah.
To come out this strong, this confident, this incredible out the gate, your whole rest of your career is defined by it.
Well, and that's not uncommon. Like for artists in general, that's a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, many authors.
I mean, I can think of literally like dozens of artists where like their debut album was so defining, and then they could just never live up to.
I mean, Catch-22 is Heller's debut, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
exactly. It was like, but I mean, and I read the sequel to Catch-22, and I stopped reading the sequel to Catch-22 because it's terrible.
Yeah.
He
is the Joseph Heller of rock music.
There it is.
That's what it is.
There's a thesis right there.
All right. Well, guys, listen. I think we can call it. Number 11, Ratitude. Fuck you. Number 10, Hurley. Number 9, Pacific Daydream. Number 8, The White Album. Number 7, Make Believe. Number 6, Everything Will Be Alright in the End. Number 5, Maladroit. Number 4, The Red Album. Number 3, Pinkerton. Number 2, The Green Album. And number 1, Magic, featuring B.O.B. and Rivers Cuomo. It's the lead single. I'm kidding. No, it's the Blue Album. So, guys, we clearly have a lot to say about this, and we have a lot more to say. That's why we have a Happy Hour mini-sode. In the meantime, though, Bilal, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've had a great time. There's a lot of great poll quotes when we do our year-end wrap-up. I think a lot of them will show up in there. It's going to be great. Taran, as always, thank you.
You're welcome.
And in the meantime, please let us know your thoughts on our Facebook page, on our Twitter. We have that, I guess. And also anywhere place. Find us.
Twitter?
Leave us rankings on iTunes and Stitcher and SoundCloud. In the meantime, have a good one. Keep on listening. You know that we'll be good. Bye.
That I could myself.
Like, really?